So let's dive into cash register. Within Empowered Business Central, as you might know, we have four industry bundles, and in the industry bundles, retail, of course, and also in wholesale and distribution, we have included the feature cash register. And with this feature, the users can basically make use of basically a lightweight POS system within Business Central, which gives you the genuine cash register capabilities right within Business Central in a user-friendly system for the end user, which is it is typically Business Central. So the UI is of course just Business Central, but we have minimalized the screens, etc., so that it's easy for the peoples at the cash register to process the cash sales, so to say. With cash register, you can define multiple stores, multiple cash registers, and also multiple cash drawers. And with that, basically, we have enabled that your employees or the employees of the end customer can make use of cash register functionality according multiple stores, multiple registers, etc. We also support barcode scanning. So if we just speak about the easy text barcode scanning, you can even enhance the checkout experience even more. We have also included easy printing of the receipts for those cash sales. By the way, a short side note on this for the ones from Germany, Austria, we know that there is a certain requirement for those POS systems in your country, and we are already working on getting it certified for the use in at least Austria and probably also Germany. With cash register, you can accept cash or credit and debit cards payments. You can also optionally, and I will show you in a minute, opt for cash in, cash out transactions. So if people want to change money, for example, you can also work with a voucher system. So see it as gift cards. You can, as a company, can give away gift cards with a certain value, and then those can also be used as transaction money to apply as a payment to the sales. And also, by the way, you can opt for work with vouchers on return orders. So if you have a return order and your policy is to give the amount back in gift vouchers, that's also possible with that voucher system. For those cash drawers, you can optionally choose for a mandatory counting on opening and closing of the drawer. And of course, there's an extensive audit log which keeps track of all the cash movements. And I will show that in a minute as well. So basically, to summarize, cash register, a very easy, straightforward, lightweight POS system, so to say, which gives the user the ability to handle those easy cash sales. Let me show you something within Business Central, and for that I need to switch to my Business Central environment. So let me go to that. So here we are in Business Central. Let me go back to the role center to give you the proper start experience. So let's start with the cash register setup. So you simply search for the cash register setup, and I will highlight the most important features and configuration options which are out there. So first of all, of course, you need to work with a general journal template and batch name to configure. And then the first interesting option is already available, and that's about if those people are working on the cash register, should those be able to edit the unit prices or edit the discounts at the cash checkout. So at the moment of checkout, should the users be able to edit that, yes or no? That's simply an option which allows it or block it. Of course, you can then assign the cash payment type for cash payments, assign the GL accounts. Also, an interesting option is to work with advances, because sometimes you do a checkout at the cash register while an item needs to be ordered via a supplier. And then you can work with advance payments, and at the time that, for example, you have received that item from the supplier, they're going to pick it up. They simply need to pay the rest, and that will be taken in account on the cash register as well. And you can work with those vouchers. Like I said, those vouchers will then be added as a separate payment method. And then you can work with different gift cards, for example. Here I've created a specific item, which is a gift voucher, but you can work with multiple ones with a fixed value or whatsoever. And you can give them also an end date, if you speak about the validity of those vouchers. Also, you can work with a minimum spend amount. That's all optional to configure. So those are basically the generic stuff you need to set up before you're able to dive deeper. Then let's go to the cash register list. Basically here you're setting up those cash registers with those drawers, etc. So as an example, I've added just simply one cash register. Then you can work with the money drawer codes for those money drawers. Of course, you need to work with the number series for those tickets, because basically those easy cash sales work with tickets, which are basically lightweight versions of sales orders. If we scroll to the right, you can also see that you can define a private customer name. That's a typical example for those situations where we think this lightweight POS system is a benefit for those companies, is those companies who do have a lot of transactions. And as an option, sometimes they also have, for example, just orders to consumers which are going to be paid at the desk, etc. Then you can work with a private customer name. So basically a default customer where all those transactions will be posted on. You can simply create that private customer name over here. Then you can choose if the cash register, so the drawer, if on opening and or closing, the money within it should be counted. That's simply something you can make mandatory, yes or no. And you can work with the default cash amount. So for example, if you do not work with counting on cash on opening and closing, and you work with a default cash amount of 250, for example, in this case, then the system will always think that there is 250 euro as a default cash amount on opening in the cash register. The last thing I would like to highlight over here is that you are also able to allow or disallow allow cash in, cash out movements. Think of someone comes with a large bill and want to change it for smaller bills. That's something which is optionally possible with cash register as well. So basically with this you're configuring those cash registers with the money drawer codes. And one thing I forgot to mention is of course that you can assign default persons to the specific cash registers. Another thing from the cash register setup which is important is movement types. As you can see over here, we have different movement types, of course. If you think about the money drawer, of course, you have the sales, you have the payments, you have vouchers, cash in, cash out. And probably for the audit log, you want to label all the transactions with a specific movement type. It's optional. Then you can create those specific codes for those movement types. So in the audit log, you can easily filter on different movement types. And so, for example, if you work with cash in, cash out, you want to have a check on that, then you can easily find those entries in the audit log. Another one, for example, important when you do work with counting the money on opening and closing the drawers, is the coins and note list. Basically, of course, very obvious, but you simply create codes for the different bills and pennies you have in your drawer. You give it a description and a default value. And based on that, of course, if you're going to close day end closing, then if you need to count it, then of course those coins and notes need to be counted. And then basically you are already off to go, and therefore I would like to show you how we are registering our cash sales in the cash register setup. So for example, we go to the cash tickets overview, and from here I now have an open drawer, and I will show you how simply you can open a drawer at the beginning of the day. I have one cash register. I already opened it, of course, in advance of this demo call. And now you can simply create new tickets, and as soon as you're creating a new ticket, you basically are going to register the new sales order with a very minimal screen in terms of options and things you need to fill in, because it will automatically pick that default cash payments customer we have assigned in the cash register. And you can immediately go down to the scanning area, where if you do have a normal text scanner, right, you can simply scan the items and those will be added to the lines. But of course, you can also simply pick the manual. And as soon as you're picking them over here, they will of course be added to the line. And no further action is required. You can immediately go to the payment section to get it paid. So for example, if this customer comes at the desk, wants this spare share of black, the total amount is 234 euros. The default payment method can then be cash, for example, and he's going to pay with 250 euro. Then the system will, of course, automatically count how much cash needs to go out for the return. And as soon as you're closing this, you are able to print the tickets. And then the ticket will be printed, of course, and you can give that to the end customer. No posting immediately, because the transactions will, the invoice will be posted later on. So for example, if I go to this ticket, for this customer, we have this Paris chair black one, and it's one chair we need to ship. As soon as you are handling the payment and print the receipt, then the item is shipped. And I can show that how that's registered in the system, because if we go to customers and we go to that specific cash payments customer I've created for this purpose, you can see over here that ship not invoice, this is exactly the amount of that one Paris chair black, which has been paid, and we have printed the receipt. Then you see that the item is shipped but not invoiced. And as soon as you're going to close the drawers, so let me go back to the cash register cash tickets overview, you can close the drawer, and then the all those sales order lines basically will be posted on that specific customer. And then of course all those payments, cash payments, are then automatically applied. So once again, I would love to show you the ticket. As soon as you're creating a new ticket, by default, if you want, of course, you have those cash payments customer as a default. So you only need to scan the items, click on payment, and then of course next to cash payments, of course, you can also work with debit cards, etc. And also of course the vouchers. If people want to pay with the voucher, you can also select the voucher as a payment option. The last thing I would like to, I need to remove this. The last thing I would like to show you is, if we go back to the list, so please imagine at the end of the day we have all those cash tickets where we have sold the items which are shipped, because they are basically picked up by the end customer, needs to be invoiced. As soon as you're going to close the drawer, then the sales invoices will be posted. For now, I'm not going to close the drawer immediately, because then I'm not able to use it today anymore. But if you are going to close the drawer, here you see cash counting is not required, because as I showed you in the cash register setup, in this case I said, okay, I don't want to count, but normally, of course, you are going to make that mandatory. As soon as you click on close drawer, then you will be, the screen will pop up with those coins and note list I showed you earlier, with of course the number of coins and notes which should be in there, and then of course the people can fill in the actual number they have found in their drawer. And now simply if I click on yes, then the drawer is closed. Now if I, for example, click on open drawer, you see that today I cannot open this specific drawer anymore because it has been closed. Now let me switch back to the presentation. So I've showed you basically in a nutshell that you're able to easily register those cash sales Optionally, you can work with an easy text barcode scanning to scan the items, and then those items will automatically be added to the lines. You can print the receipts. You can work with the voucher system, and of course, with those optional counting of the drawers on opening and closing. Basically, you have the whole process of easy cash sales. That's why we call it the lightweight POS system. In your business central environment for those customers who do want a lightweight POS system. So that's what I showed you in the business central environment. It's good to know that there will be some videos released very soon around a more deep dive video, so to say, on how to work with